Peace, peace, black family. So I am super excited. Now, one might ask, Brother Hassan, why are you super excited? Well, I'm super excited because I received a DM from a brother who lives abroad. This brother is Nigerian by birthplace, but he was raised in Czech Republic or Czechoslovakia or something like that. And the brother hit me up. He said, Brother Hassan, I've been following your page for some years. I've been following your page since your first page. And he said, my cousin who lives in New York actually forwarded your page to me and said, hey, man, you need to follow this brother. He drops a lot of good information. And so he said, when he first started following my page, he thought I was the most racist thing on the planet. He was like, yo, I couldn't watch your page for long. And he said after a certain amount of time, the information began to resonate with him. Now, that brings me chills, and that excites me. And the reason why it excites me is because when you look at Caribbean and continental Africans, for the most part, we haven't had the conscious leadership that African Americans have had. For example, you have the John Henry Clarks. You have the Dr. Amos Wilsons. You have the Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. When you look at African and Caribbeans, we've had people like Jean-Jacques Dessalines, okay? We've had people like Kwame Nkrumah, of Ghana. We've had people like Patrice Lumumba of the Congo. People like Stephen Biko of South Africa. Idi Amin of Uganda. But what happens is when those people are assassinated or removed from power, that consciousness seems to go void. But here in America, and I've always said this, that African Americans, for the most part, are the most conscious Africans in the world, okay? They have produced volumes and volumes and volumes of information dealing with racism and white supremacy because they live in what is the belly of the beast. And so that is very empowering when a brother hits me up who's way in Czechoslovakia, way in Europe, and says, man, when I first started following you, I didn't like your information. But he says the more I listened and the more I read your captions, the more I watched your videos, the more it resonated with me and the more I understood racism, white supremacy, and understand what you was talking about. That's powerful. Very, very powerful. And the brother said, man, I want to remain anonymous. So obviously I'm not going to tag him. And I'm not going to screenshot our conversation. He said, but I want to share a video with you that I was watching the other day. And the video shocked me. And when I watched it, and I seen what I seen, I automatically thought of you. Now, the video is from his country, Czechoslovakia, and I think they speak German or something over there, and they speak Czech, but it has subtitles. And so he sent me the video.
It's liberal, já si představu černošku. It's liberal, já si představu černošku. It's liberal, já si představu černošku.
Now, again, this is what Dr. Francis Cress Welsing has been teaching us for so many years with the book, The ISIS Papers. But a lot of our continental Africans or Caribbean Africans have not had this book translated for them because all Africans don't speak English, right? And so there is a wealth of knowledge in these books that other Africans have not been introduced to. But this is what Dr. Francis Cress Welsing has been teaching us.
Now, a white man said to me, Dr. Welsing, do you know what white men say? I said, no, I don't. He said, white men say they're not men. Until when? Until they have had sexual intercourse with a black woman.
Should be 13 at most with the trip. You can get her mounted right away. I'll be back on the road in a couple hours.
Is it for me, Pa?
Easy. We'll talk about that when you finish school.
And so a lot of our African sisters and brothers don't understand racism, white supremacy in the sexual form. They don't understand it. They think that for them, they're connecting with these Europeans. But if these Europeans really cared about you, they would try to make you equal within the society that you live. But European men aren't even trying to make their women equal with them. But you have black women who would go, and I'm talking about black women of all ethnicities. Nigerians, Haitians, Jamaicans, African Americans, Ugandians. You have these black women who would fight and say, my zaddy loves me. My zaddy cares all about me. But Dr. Francis Cress Welsing says there can be no black and white love in a system of racism and white supremacy. There are only victimizers having sex with victims. Victimizers having sex with victims. You've seen what the man said in the video. He said, take the girl and pretend that she's a black girl. You think they raped our ancestors because they didn't have wives? No. You got to read this book, The ISIS Papers. And so when the brother hit me up and he sent me the video, I typed it in, and automatically a whole bunch of YouTube videos came up of black girls talking about their experience in this particular country.
I'm alone and I'm walking, and all of a sudden one of the gate men, they were all in uniform, but he is in awe. He's like, oh my God, where are you from? Hello? And I'm just like looking around. Is there a celebrity? What's really going on? Is he doing this for little old me? And for my dark-skinned girls who, you know, trying to find you a nice little Czech Republic, Czechian? Oh, what do you call people from the Czech Republic? Chechen? The Czechs love themselves a sister, okay? I feel like no matter where I was getting stared at or being approached.
This comes from a lack of understanding. Now, don't get me wrong. A lot of our black women just gave up on black men. And same thing with black men. But a lot of our black women actually feel the need to be bedwenches to Europeans because it's a power dynamic. And they like it. And I can tell you, male or female, any person that has sex with a white person outside of their race, they are being socially and psychologically raped. Matter of fact, I think it was Tavis Smiley or Ricky Smiley. One of them were being sued. I get the two confused. I think it was Tavis Smiley or Ricky Smiley. I think it was Ricky Smiley. Anyway, he was being sued because he had and this is allegedly, because I don't want to get sued. He had a relationship with a coworker, but it just so happens he is in a more dominant position than the coworker. Like basically, he's like her manager, and she's like a regular employee. And the company was suing him for doing so because the company said that because he was in a position of power, that is some form of sexual misconduct. Are Europeans not in a position of power over African people? Do they not control the economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, healthcare, and warfare? So when every time we lay down with these Europeans, it is a form of psychological and physical rape because we are doing so out of a power dynamic, out of a power constraint. And don't get me wrong, you have some black people who are okay with that, who like that. You have some black women who have that European gene so embedded in them that they actually like that type of bullcrap. They like their white zaddy. But white zaddy not trying to make you equal in society. White zaddy ain't trying to give you no rights. White zaddy not even trying to make his mama equal in society. White zaddy not even trying to make his daughters equal in society. He is all about male dominance. And so I'm very ecstatic that his brother hit me up and that the information is being spread, man. You know, I'm excited when any brother hits me up, whether African American, Haitian, Jamaican, whatever you are. But it just does something. It really makes me feel like, yes, this information is getting global so other Africans can begin to wake up. So other Africans can see what's going on. But we got to fight this fight on all fronts. In the States, in South America, in the Caribbean, we have to start translating these books because most of the conscious books are in English because most of the conscious teachings, for the most part, come out of African American culture. And so I thank you for joining me yet again. Until next time, think black, stay black, love black, support black, and that's real African black power.